I consider myself the Johnny Appleseed of the First Amendment.
There you go.
So if one of my seeds that I plant grows out of the thousands, I'm a happy man.
Hi.
How we doing?
Can you turn off that camera, please?
Can I turn off the camera?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
But can I help you with
Can you please go away? I was in the middle of a nice conversation. What do you mean turn off my camera? That's a weird way to...
I'm not trying to be...
Do you work here?
I do work
So you
here.
walk up and say, hi, my name is Jane. I'm the public information support officer here. Whatever your position
Well,
is.
thank you for telling me how to behave. Thank you for...
Well, it sounds like somebody needs to tell you how to behave. How's it going, guys? Amagansett Press. We are coming to you today from Provo, Utah. We are at the County Health and Justice Building here. We're just gonna pay a little visit on these folks today and find out if they honor and respect our right to take video and photographs in public and from publicly accessible areas, public places. As usual, I'm out with my good buddy watching the Watchmen today. And let me just give you a little look around the neighborhood here. Provo, Utah is absolutely beautiful, guys. This is the Utah County Courthouse. And we have a beautiful church across the street. And let me give you a little time and temperature check here. Today is Monday, January 25th. It is 11:43 in the morning, and it is 36 degrees and sunny in Provo, Utah. How you doing, Watchman?
What's up?
Let's go take a look and see how these folks are doing today. Beautiful. You can see the mountains here in the distance. Absolutely breathtaking. So let's see what kind of signage we have on the doors here. So, Utah County Clerk Auditor Amelia A. Powers Gardner. Passport Office, marriage licenses, tax administration.
Vaccinations are around the back of the building.
Look for the National Guard tent. Oh, we'll be looking for that in a minute. If possible, please do your county business by phone or internet to reduce physical contact with others.
Right.
Look at this, all media must check in with the public information officer pursuant to privacy laws and HIPAA. No video or photography allowed. I'd love to take a look at those privacy laws and HIPAA laws that they're referencing. Yeah. Seems pretty quiet in there. Nobody here.
Yeah, I don't see any tents with the National Guard like that.
Yeah, I don't see a National Guard tent. Looks like they're directing everybody inside. Huh?
Yeah.
So, sign up for appointments. So this center is open here to get your shot, and there's no nobody around, nobody even here.
No.
Strange. What, do you want to go that way?
Yeah, we see that one.
And for those of you who have been watching us for a little while, and also those of you who have not, we were here in Provo exactly a year ago. Today, I believe. I know we were in Salt Lake City a year ago today, so we were here in Utah in the neighborhood, and we did some pretty good videos here. One especially here in Provo at the police department that you would probably be interested in checking out, so I'll leave a link in the description. Have a look at it if you haven't seen it already. So I always like to take a moment to recognize Old Glory, standing proud and waving in the breeze as she should. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
What are you up to?
What am I up to?
Yeah. The
What's
reason
it
that you're
look
filming
like
the
I'm up to?
building, it's the reason you're filming the building.
Well, can
The
I
reason
ask?
I ask is we've had some threats against government buildings, and so that's always a concern.
Here at this building?
This building and
Wow.
state building, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing you're here.
I don't know
Right.
about that.
Can I ask your name so I know who I'm speaking with?
Larry Evans,
Larry Evans, and you're a deputy sheriff?
Deputy Sheriff.
And
Yes, sir.
can I get your badge number?
303.
303. Okay, very good. Thank you. So what's good here at the Justice Center or Health Department today?
What's good?
Anything exciting going on?
No, I've been given the COVID shots, but they've moved that today.
Oh, they moved that out of here?
They moved it over to Spanish Fork, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why there was no activity, nobody here.
Yeah. We have a justice court up on the 3rd floor, but with everything's online now, nobody's doing it in person.
Right, that's what I understand.
So,
Yeah. Appointments only, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
What do they do if somebody has a court date? Does the judge still sit on the bench and hear cases?
Judge does it online. They give them a website that they can connect to the judge.
Oh, so it's all like...
So it's going online. And
Wow.
a lot of it's, jury trials, all that's not working right now. We're not doing any jury
Gotcha.
trials, but
Yeah.
other than that, we're doing okay.
So what, all the folks that have jury trials pending are just
They're
on
just
hold?
pending, yeah.
And the guys that are sitting in lockup waiting for jury trials are also on hold? That's pretty rough.
It's, yeah, for a lot of people.
Yeah, I wonder how just that is. Yeah.
Well, they have to waive, because there's a statutory limit. They have to have speedy trial, and so they'd have to waive it.
Right.
And their attorney's been pretty good about working with the courts.
And then what happens if...
But the last I heard that they're going to try to get those up in the next week or so and start doing jury trials.
Gotcha.
They'll separate the jury and do stuff like that, but they've got to get that going again. So
And what if...
we don't get very many jury trials in justice court. These are misdemeanors. Hi, kiddos.
Hi.
How we doing?
Can you turn off that camera, please? Can you turn off that camera, please?
Can I turn off the camera?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
But can I help you with
Can you please go away? I was in the middle of a nice conversation. What do you mean turn off my camera? That's a weird way to...
I'm not trying to be...
Do you work here?
I do work
So you
here.
walk up and say, hi, my name is Jane. I'm the public
Hi.
information support officer here. Whatever your position
Well,
is.
thank you for telling me how to behave. Thank you for.
Well, it sounds like somebody needs to tell you how to behave. When you just walk up to somebody on a sidewalk and say, stop recording, turn your cameras off, that's a little ridiculous, don't you think?
Well, what is your purpose here today?
Well, you should have started with that. So I'm going to go back to my cordial conversation with Deputy Evans here, and he'll handle it. You're safe. You can go back to work. You're okay. Learn how to be a little more, you know, if you're going to be a public information person, you should be a little more congenial with the public, wouldn't you think?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. So I'm just going to go back to my conversation here. So, where were we? Deputy Evans?
We can just say, Carrie, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can go back to work.
I will. Thank
Very
you
good, thank you. Appreciate that.
Find out what those.
Yeah, I'll find out. I don't need to hear any explanations. I'm good, thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Toodaloo, off you go. Carry on.
See you later.
Fair thought. Carry on. So you can see what I do is I respond very well to people that are being cordial, and I respond very poorly to people that aren't.
To her, we've had a lot of people in here for the shots.
Well, what about fairness to me?
Well, I know.
No, go ahead. Yeah, you're being cool, so I'll hear you.
We've had people come in, and because of HIPAA, when they're getting shots, they're not allowed to take pictures because there's some protection with medical issues. And so they've been very sensitive about people taking pictures of people getting shots. Does that make sense?
Well,
because
okay.
of HIPAA.
That what you're saying makes sense, but A, I'm not inside the building where people are getting
but
shots.
She's overly sensitive because she's been dealing with that for the last week.
Well, the other thing is if she's familiar with HIPAA laws, and if you're familiar with HIPAA laws, I'm not bound by HIPAA laws.
No.
The public's not bound by HIPAA. She is a medical professional who's done that training and has been certified in that. So the onus is on the staff here to protect people's public.
She's being very sensitive.
Right. So there shouldn't be any private information out in public viewing, and I'm not going in any private sensitive areas.
Right.
So
Anyway.
What I was going to ask you is if people decide that they don't want to waive their right to a speedy trial, then what happens?
Then I guess they would probably set up special arrangements to do the trial. They would almost have to.
And then the judge will be mad at you and give you a hard time.
Depending on the charges, I guess you could dismiss with prejudice and come back later. But obviously, if it's somebody that's violent, they're not going to do that.
Right.
That's the district court. I don't know how they're handling. I know they're backed up so far. It's going to be ugly when it starts again.
You know, and I'm not saying these guys are victims of anything, but there's certain people that absolutely deserve to be wherever they are in this world,
but
wherever that might be.
Rights to a speedy trial.
But yeah, and there are some people that probably shouldn't even be where they are to begin with, you know, so that's rough. It's just rough. Yeah, it's tough.
Anyway, but we don't have that problem with justice court because we're dealing with misdemeanor offenses, traffic offenses. Very seldom do we get.
Oh, really? I got you. Okay.
DUI possibly, but that's about it.
What do they do? Kick that stuff over to the state court?
They just put them on hold because they're not in custody.
I got you.
Those folks are not in custody. They're out on their own recognizance.
Well, on the flip side of that, anybody who's out on bail is having a good time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So it works both ways. No, and you know what I got to tell you?
Yes.
And I hope this is an exercise. You know, I'm learning something every day as I'm out doing what we're doing.
Okay.
And I hope that we both come away from this just thinking a little bit more about what's going on. Yeah, that's my whole goal here. Okay. And you can see the reaction that her behavior gets, and you can see the reaction that your behavior gets. Yeah. You're a little more seasoned than she is. You probably had, I'm sure, more training.
Thank you, seasoned.
Yeah, well, I'm getting there, but you know. No, we appreciate you. And you know what? We rely, don't take it the wrong way, but we rely on the older guys. We rely on the senior guys to keep the younger guys in check and teach them how it needs to be, because this is a very fast changing world.
Oh, it is.
And things that are going on these days weren't going on when we were younger.
No.
So I'm glad to see there's...
for the better in most cases, yeah.
No, and it's a shame.
It is.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
You know, and there's
yeah, you're welcome to take pictures. I just need to check because we've had some threats, but some of the buildings.
Well, you came out very professional, willing to have a conversation. You're not barking orders. You're having a discussion, and that's what life's all about. Yeah. I always like to say, and I won't bore you with any more of my lecture here, but what I always like to say is I don't have to understand everything that you're doing. Yeah. I don't have to approve of everything that you're doing. And the same comes back to me. You don't have to understand everything. But I think the two of us can find middle ground and appreciate what each other are doing, and also respect each other's right to do as we do, you know?
Makes life a lot better for all of us, doesn't it?
That's it. Middle ground, man. That's what I'm always looking for. So the conversation is what's important. I believe if you're talking about things, you're doing something about it. So that's all we're trying to do is have the conversation, and I appreciate you.
Okay.
I don't know if you're shaking hands these days, or very good. Appreciate you even more. Thank you, sir.
Guys, take care.
All right. Thank you. You have a good day. All right, guys. I don't know if Hothead there is done with us yet, so we'll stick around. We'll walk around the building a couple of times and just make sure that we're good and see how it goes. So, you know, I always like to say, and for some reason it always happens, it ain't over till it's over. Strange things happen in the last couple of minutes. So we're gonna take a little walk. Stand by. Whoa, what is this? What are we pointing at?
Huh?
What are we pointing at?
The door.
Oh.
Did you guys want to come in?
Oh, am I invited in?
What did you need?
I'd be happy to come in. I thought the building was closed to walk-ins.
What are you guys here for?
Oh, we're just taking a look at the health department.
Oh, well, this is not the health department order of the office.
Okay, so this is
Marriage license and passports and abatements.
marriage license, passports, and abatements. Okay, so can I come in and take a look at the public information you have available?
Sure.
Very good, thank you. Appreciate that.
They're just looking at information right here from us. So,
My name is Jason.
Ben.
Nice to, oh, his name's Ben too.
Yeah.
Very good. We won't forget your name. And I love the bow tie.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome.
It's plastic.
Is that like a 3D print?
It is.
It is? Did you make it yourself?
No, my son did.
Oh, that's very cool. Awesome. No, we appreciate you.
All right, well, anyway, this is just the general information for passports and marriage license.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, and I'm going to be very cordial with you because you're being very professional and cordial, and I appreciate that. And that you know, respect gets respect, and thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome.
Appreciate you. So you can get your passports here, marriage licenses as well, if you want to leap into that lava pit. I'm kidding. And yeah, do that. Property taxes can be paid in the treasurer's office across the street, in the administration building, or in the drop box in the parking lot. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, you talking to us?
How's it going?
How are you?
Good.
Good. Do you inter-office communicate here?
Not really.
Oh, okay, I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no. How can I help you?
Well, what are you doing?
Just whatever's obvious.
Okay.
Taking some video.
Okay. For what purpose?
Well, that's, you know, what purpose, my purpose is my purpose. Right? I don't know. What's the difference?
Okay. We're just wondering, are you here for like a marriage license, a passport?
Well, are you, just before we begin, are you wondering as a employee, as a member of the staff, or just a personal curiosity type
No,
of thing?
I'm the head of the office here.
You're the head of the office. Okay,
Yes.
so can you introduce yourself so I know who I'm speaking to?
Bert Harvey.
Bert Harvey?
Yes.
Okay, and you're the head of the,
Marriage license, passport office.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Well, very nice to meet you, Bert Harvey.
Yes.
Very good.
Okay. And what's with the cameras?
The only way to take video that I know of is with a camera.
Okay, guys, seriously, give me a straight answer. I'm calling security. Why are you here?
Oh, we've already had a
With the
pleasant
camera?
conversation with security. You can
And
go.
what's the purpose of being here? I mean, if you're here to get information about the office, I'm happy to help you with that.
I'm here to look at whatever's available in your public area.
Okay.
Which is fine. That's
Which is fine.
You guys can do that.
Yeah.
Just if you see members of the public, try not to film them while they're here.
If I see members of the public in a public area,
I mean, just for their own privacy.
well, I'm not. I'll tell you, I'm not here to specifically stick my camera in anybody's face. But if somebody walks past my camera, I'm not going to,
Sure.
you know,
Okay.
throw it under my jacket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with your filming project.
Yeah. No, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate you. And you work here as well?
I do.
Okay. And do you want to tell me who you are?
Yeah, sure. Josh Daniels.
Okay, Josh Daniels. And are you also one of the supervisors here?
Yep.
Okay,
Work
cool.
For the clerk auditor's office and just manage the process of serving the public.
Very cool. Well, we saw you outside on your phone when we got here, so I knew I'd be having a conversation with you sooner or later.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
So are we okay taking video here in the public area?
You can.
Okay.
It's legal, right? So.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
prohibits it.
Sorry?
Nothing prohibits it.
No, I don't think so. No. Why would it? Right? And as far as people's private information, would be certain that you gentlemen are not displaying people's private information in a public lobby, so I'm not concerned about that.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Well, cool. So by the smirk on your face, I can tell you already know exactly what we're doing. You're probably a fan.
I don't. Well, actually, no, no, I'd like to know.
So you know what, do you mind if I just step a little closer so I'm not yelling across? So you guys are being cordial, so I'll tell you exactly what we're doing. Okay, my name is Jason. This is my son, Ben. Okay, and you may like what we're doing, you may not like what we're doing, but we've been traveling the country for the past year and a half, way before this whole current situation started, in support of our Constitution. So what we're doing is, this is called the First Amendment audit.
Cool.
You're gonna shake your head yes, because you figured that's probably what it was, right?
You know, I've done similar things myself.
Have you? Cool. No, good for you. Yeah. So what we do is we go to public areas of public buildings, FBI buildings, jails, police departments, sheriff's departments, and exercise our right to take video and photographs in publicly accessible areas.
Oh, okay.
So it's an exercise of rights.
Oh, okay.
That's all it
no
is.
big deal. All right.
And if that doesn't make sense to you, which it doesn't make sense to a lot of people,
No, that makes sense.
rights are like muscles, and if you don't exercise them, they tend to go away.
Right.
And the Constitution in this country right now is taking a proverbial beating.
Okay.
So we are out just trying to do whatever microscopic thing we can do to support the Constitution and support your rights, our rights, and everybody else's rights.
Okay.
So that's what we do. And I understand what we do can cause some concern when you don't know what we're doing.
Sure.
So I kind of let that work itself out at first to see which way you're going to go and how you're going to handle it. And then if you handle it professionally like you did, I'm happy to tell you what we're doing.
Okay.
If you decide to call the police, I'd have the conversation with them,
Okay.
which we enjoy as well.
Well, and that's what I'm just like, okay, what's the need for the video? What are you guys trying to do? I mean, just trying to understand if you're here for more information or something like that.
We just want to make sure, basically,
in the clerk's office, we get media and YouTubers and all that kind of stuff. So we just trying to understand what the nature of what you're doing is, and that's all.
Sure. I would just suggest to you, and I'm probably giving away a little in-house secrets here, but I would just suggest, you guys came out very cordial and very professional. But, you know, if you want to find out what people are doing, that's what you do, is you ask the questions and you have the conversation. And, you know, a lot of guys like to come out and just start barking orders. You can't do that. You can't be here.
Are you guys here for a marriage license?
Yes.
Our system is currently down.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's what, how did,
Good work.
do you mind telling me how you exercised your First Amendment rights that you were?
I used to be the policy director of a think tank called the Libertas Institute.
Okay.
It's kind of a libertarian leaning group that works to protect rights, constitutional rights, liberty.
Okay.
So I've very much been involved in promoting good public policy to protect rights. In fact, just, yeah, I do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Even outside, you know, as a person, I work on projects like that.
No, very cool.
So
We
my
need you out there,
My
yeah.
background, I'm an attorney, so
Are you? Okay, good.
I know, the law basically, and the importance of, you know, to your point, you have to exercise your rights to protect them.
Right.
Right? I mean, you're absolutely allowed.
But a lot of people, you know what, there's a lot of emotion and a lot of feelings today. So a lot of people will try to enforce feelings and emotion
Right.
when that's not, you know,
Right.
I don't want to live in a society that operates that way.
Right.
And as far as the libertarian thing is concerned, if I have to put myself in a spot, I consider myself a conservative-leaning libertarian.
You should.
So we're probably on the same
I would
page.
like to persuade you to call yourself a classical liberal.
Classical liberal.
Yeah, that's basically the Jeffersonian ideology is generally in, I think, the academic literature called classical liberalism. So
Okay.
I like that term. I think it's descriptive of really what I believe, because it's not so much a partisan affiliation in my view, it's more of a philosophy. Right?
Okay.
But conservative, in my view, it's not descriptive enough, because it's become just a sort of a political buzzword. And some people thinks it means one thing.
Well, liberals
something
become a
else.
conservative
For sure.
buzzword as well.
Exactly,
Yeah.
So the classical liberal tradition is the Western tradition of liberty, human liberty, as the uniting fundamental political force, and having a government structure that acknowledges, recognizes, and protects human liberty. To me, that's classical liberalism.
Right.
So that's what I care about.
No, absolutely. As long as you're not making a victim out of anybody, I believe you should be able to do whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. 100%. Are you on the same page? And if you don't want to answer, you could say not interested in answering.
No, I have no. I actually wasn't paying attention most of the conversation. You were helping me a couple, but yeah.
Well, you know this gentleman very well. You know where he's coming from.
We talk politics.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Me and Josh are pretty much on the same page politically a lot, so we're very simpatico that way.
No, that's cool, and I'm glad.
Because he's my boss, so I have to.
Oh, he's your boss?
I have to spout
Hey.
his.
Well, that's because he went to school and got the initials after his name. When I was a young man, a very wise old woman said to me, "Get some initials after your name, or nobody's ever going to listen to a word you have to say." Right? And I didn't listen. So, But a couple people listen to me anyway, so.
So this is a project, do you guys publish these to like YouTube?
Well, I'm
or-
generally not this forthcoming, but you gentlemen have earned it.
Right.
So I do have a YouTube channel.
Okay, cool.
We do First Amendment audits
Okay.
exclusively.
Good.
And I would be happy to give you my channel information if you want to write it
Yeah, I'd
down.
love to
It's
see
the name of my channel is the name of the village I'm originally from in New York. It's an old Indian name, so you probably want to write it down.
Okay.
It's Amagansett Press, but I'll spell it for you.
Amagansett, okay. Oh yeah, I know exactly that's about Amagansett.
Do you?
No. Let's just guess.
Well, if you go to YouTube
Amagansett.
and just put in AMAG, and I'll be the first thing that pops up.
Oh, so my default, I got the I instead of the A, but I did get the 2 T's. So,
Are you on YouTube?
yeah, here it is.
Oh, cool. There you go.
Nice. Cool. Good work.
Yeah.
Amagansett Press.
Yep. And
Okay.
this is my son Ben. And his is watching The
So
Watchmen.
are you guys from? You're obviously not from Utah. So where you?
How is
from?
that obvious? I tried to put on my Moab best today. You know. No.
Well, I'm assuming that you're probably from out of state.
Colorado.
Because you said you were traveling all across the country.
Right.
That's why.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we love you. I'll tell you what. Provo is absolutely spectacular. I mean, these mountains you have behind you. I don't know how you ever get bored of looking at that.
Well, it's beautiful. It's awesome. I think one interesting thing about Utah, and I don't know if you've been up to Salt Lake to do any.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long are you guys in town?
We were actually in Salt Lake a year ago, and now we're back for our second visit. So we're when are we leaving? Tomorrow.
When you came last time, did you go to the state capitol?
We did.
Okay.
Yep.
Because we've got one of the most open, accessible capitals in the country.
Your state capitol is one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen in my life.
It is very
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's spectacular. And that just being up on the hill and the
Right.
whole, it's,
And where most state capitals have a lot of layers of security to get in the building, ours
Right.
is just walk on in.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Wyoming's like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wyoming's great. Yeah. And
Very similar.
South Dakota too, I think. Yeah.
There's a few. Texas is pretty locked down.
North Dakota's locked down, which surprised me.
California, really is.
Yeah.
It's surprising.
Yeah, North Dakota's done a lot of lockdown. I'm very surprised about that.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah. But, it is what it is. I'm actually glad to see that Utah is kind of, you can go sit down and eat. And, so
And our
it's nice.
economies reflects it because we haven't had the same problems that they've had elsewhere.
And how do you, I don't know if I'm touching on what you're doing for a living here, so I don't want to put you in any kind of a situation, but how do you feel the pandemic situation's going here in Utah? I mean, here in Provo. Do you guys,
Here in
feel,
Provo, I think the response is better, more balanced, more measured. There's no local government lockdowns or shutdowns.
okay,
So, commerce is still happening. And so I think things are going well in that regard.
good.
We're also, I think, fortunate just demographically because we have younger population, probably less chronic illness per capita. And so I think there's a lower, death rate. Which
Healthier people out breathing fresh air. And,
potentially, yeah. And so, fortunately, our cases and our ICU usage hasn't been emergency levels. So people have been able to basically live normally.
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
it
the way
really
it should
is.
be,
It is the way it should be, yeah.
Knock on wood.
No, and you know what? And I don't want to sound like I'm being not sympathetic to people who are at risk and elderly and that kind of thing. But those people have always existed. I remember when my grandmother was at risk and she, so, you.
Well, my in-laws, they're older and they're kind of in the at-risk category, and they keep telling us we'd rather die from COVID than die from loneliness. So
I understand.
They have a very interesting perspective. But my parents are actually in their 80s and 90s. My dad's a World War II vet, and my parents were kind of like, we don't expect you guys to be around much longer, but we'd like to keep you around as long as we can.
Of course.
We're gonna be cautious, and
Right.
We've set them up with video calls and being able, giving them technology very easy to use that they can then stay connected to the rest of us without us putting them at risk of getting the virus.
Right.
So,
And I, obviously as a layman, non-medical professional, I'm not even going to speak to people that are at risk or elderly or that kind of thing.
Right.
But, normal, young, healthy people shouldn't be walking around worrying about such things.
Right.
I don't think.
I know. It's how ironic. You shut down the gyms, but then you say, well, wait a minute, obesity is a factor in the illness.
Right. Well, I mean, you shut down the gyms, but you can go to Walmart.
Right.
yeah. Well,
and then
and the result of that is at-home exercise equipment is now 2 to 3 months on back order because they've gotten so many orders.
With so many things that we cherish.
Take this off. but yeah, so.
Yeah, you guys don't have to worry about that with us, for sure.
I had it already, so.
Well, I
Been there, got the
also,
t-shirt.
again, from my layman's point of view, but I really honestly believe my understanding of the human immune system is that it needs to be infected
Yeah.
in order to work properly.
Right, yeah.
You know, so I don't want to be that guy that hides, doesn't touch any germs, wears the gloves, does all that stuff, and then something real comes along, and I'm not ready for it.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
not saying anything's real or not real, but you know, it is what it is. Very subjective world we live in right now.
Totally.
Cool.
And it's hard, and I think the worst thing it's done is it's created. I just want to make sure this is still going. So the worst thing I think it's done is it's created a lot of division between people.
Yeah.
There was a big divide between law enforcement and the citizens. Now that's grown into citizen versus citizen, and most people are. If you don't agree with my point of view, they'll attack.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why my strongest thing that I push is middle ground. I was just saying it to the sheriff's deputy outside. I don't have to understand and respect everything you do. Right back at me, same thing.
Yeah.
But we can respect each other's right to do what we do and find that middle ground and have some understanding and shake hands and have a conversation.
Right.
You know, but that seems to be a dying skill or something people are just shying away from these days. So we're just trying to be out, having the conversation, talking the talk, and maybe sparking some thought and
Interesting.
ideas. And yeah.
Okay.
I consider myself the Johnny Appleseed of the First Amendment.
There you
Okay.
go.
So if one of my seeds that I plant grows out of the thousands, I'm a happy man. You know,
good.
that's all it is. And we talk to hundreds of law enforcement officers. And I also say if I have to speak to hundreds of officers, 1,000 police officers, just to get through to one and make a difference in one's attitude, it was worth talking to every single one of them.
Right.
So that's what we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
For you guys.
Cool.
Yeah. And you see, that's what happens when you guys keep your shoulders down, keep your cool, stay open. You find out what's going on, and this whole situation winds up a lot better than just calling the police on a couple of guys with cameras in their hands. And then we don't have this conversation. None of us benefit from anything. Right?
Well, and the whole, and just trying to figure out why, because obviously being in the clerk's office, we get, like I said, we get.
Hey,
press and
listen,
that
you're
kind of stuff,
responsible
so-
for your staff. I get it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you looking out for their well-being.
If you're here for a story, if you're something, if there's information you need, we want to make sure you get provided.
Well, you also want to make sure there's no nefarious intent. We're not looking to, and your due diligence is appreciated on our end too. No, you really, you know.
Scope the building security
Hey,
for a future assault.
Well,
right?
it's the public building.
Well,
so I appreciate you guys keeping it out.
Well, we
and
also
I
we deal with members of the public that, because we're also the tax abatement office, we deal with members of the public that sometimes are dealing with mental health issues or other stresses in their life, and so we got to make sure that we're not introducing an X factor into that environment, that kind of stuff. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you gentlemen are a credit to your office here, and we appreciate you. No, you know what? It doesn't go this way everywhere.
Yeah.
So you should really be proud of yourselves for behaving the way you do and thinking the way you do and being as educated as you are.
And we try to we put a lot of emphasis here because we deal with the public. We put a lot of emphasis on customer service. We want to make sure that we're open and inviting to the public and
Good. Well, I feel that way.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Do you guys do any training with your staff on First Amendment things in case anybody shows up with cameras? Do they know how to react or?
Generally, they just contact us.
They just
Okay.
say, hey, what's going on?
Because I'll
Find
tell you
out.
what, my experience is, and if they were, they get the hair stands up in the back of
Yeah.
people's necks. So I'm just suggesting, not telling you what to do, but it might be a good idea to put into your training and policies and that kind of thing, some education for the staff that works here. It's just for their benefit as well, so that way they don't get nervous and upset. The people coming in with the cameras
Well,
don't
to
have
be
to
fair,
have
I
a
don't think our
horrible
office
day.
has had to do too much of that. I know the elections office does a lot of training with cameras and that kind of stuff because they deal with it obviously with election season and everything else like that.
Right.
So,
It's just I always think training and conversation and
No, it's good
talking
idea.
to the folks. It's
that's
just
good information.
might who knows? Sometimes things. De-escalation is written in police policy as strongly as it is because once things go up, it's very hard to bring them back down.
Absolutely.
So the best thing to do is just not let them go up.
Right.
Yeah. So and you gentlemen did that today, and I congratulate you and I appreciate you. I really do. Thank for whatever that's worth. I thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I don't know if you guys are shaking
No,
hands.
great.
But I'm happy to shake your hand. Appreciate you.
Good meeting you.
Thank you, sir. Same
Well,
here.
good luck with all this. Thanks a lot.
Alrighty, no,
Thanks
thank you.
for explaining and helping us understand what you're doing because that really helps me understand what's going on.
Well, understand as well, you wouldn't have gotten any of that if you came out with a different attitude. So this is the way, we should be able, as men, we should be able to stand here and have a conversation.
Absolutely.
So, and I appreciate you guys for that.
Thank you.
And I'll leave you with, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Okay.
Take a look at our
Yeah.
channels.
I will.
All right, guys.
See y'all.
Appreciate you.
Thanks
Thank you
a
so
lot,
much. All righty. And you'll let the staff know what was going on so they're
Yeah,
not nervous.
we'll let them know.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Have a great day.
Plan for it.
It's getting hot
Can you
in
hold
there.
this for 1 second? Yeah, I'm steaming. I don't want to put my gloves back on.
I was wondering if it was just me, and then I saw you take your hat off.
No, I was starting to sweat under my hat. It's warm. Well, all right, guys. That's going to wrap it up here. You know, I'm glad things went the way they went. We actually had a very good conversation. I'm going to walk away from the roadway here. But we actually had a very good conversation, I think, with the sheriff's deputy. These two gentlemen were fantastic. You know, the other lady who was the public information support person completely blew it. And hopefully they'll have a conversation with her. And I'm sure they will. But that's it. That's how these things should go. And I don't mind explaining myself to people when they're being courteous and cordial. There goes that word again. But it's important, guys. I mean, these are your public servants. These are the people running your municipal buildings and offices. These are the people you have to come to when you need service. And that's the way it should be. So I very much appreciate these guys and thank them for what they do. But that's it. I always like to remind you guys, if you like what we do and you appreciate our videos, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. It's the best way you can help us out. YouTube's algorithm loves that stuff. Gets our videos out to more people so more people can enjoy them and hopefully learn from them. And I invite you to do the same for Watching Watchman. His channel's doing great. He puts maps and information. Obviously, he has a different perspective, different views. He leaves extra footage in his videos that I don't. So check him out. I'll leave a link in the description, and I invite you to do the same for him. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Best way to help. Doesn't cost you a dime. So that's it. So we're gonna hop in the truck, head down the road, and see what else we could find for you here in beautiful Provo, Utah. Give you a last look at the mountains here. Just spectacular. Absolutely spectacular, guys. All right, well, coming to you from the Health and Justice Building here in Provo, Utah. Watching the Watchman. Amagansett Press. We'll catch you on the next one, guys. Out.